Very good day and welcome to all the racing lovers joining us from around the globe, and this is for the pre-recorded meeting which takes place in Fairview, which will be racing on Friday. We are recording early doors on Thursday. We have a doubleheader on Friday, Hollywoodbets Greyville and also Fairview. And joining me on the line is the resident expert Grant Paddock. Grant, how do we find you this morning?
Morning, Sheldon. Morning, punters. Yeah, beautiful day in the Port Elizabeth and going to be good racing tomorrow. Weather's very, very good. So hopefully we can put those punters on the right horses tomorrow, Sheldon.
Talking about putting them on the right punters, a 9-race program. Race 1, number 2, Duchess of Seville, Richard Ferry and Alan Greef at 11-10. Number 1, Ruby Claire is 4-1. And number 5, Time in Paris is 5-1. 6-1 and better the rest. Would you be diving into the 11-10 about Duchess of Seville, or do you think that's a little bit sharp in the betting?
Sheldon, the only thing that can beat her is the 9 draw, but her main opposition has drawn 10. She's having her peak run, her third run here. Probably going to be very, very hard horse to beat, I must be honest with you. Shallow field. Biggest dangers, as I said, Ruby Claire. This horse, Time in Paris, is an improver, but he's well held on the last run. And then Tune Again can fill up the quartets. But I think Richard should open the day. And I'm tipping it 2, 1, 5 and 6, Sheldon.
Moving along to race number 2, and in the second race, the Kelly Mitchley stable, Flight Engineer number 1 is your 22-10 favourite. Number 2, which is Chief Runner, 33-10 with number 3, Brooksider, and then we go 4-1 about number 9, which is Princess Beautiful. Let's kick off with the Kelly Mitchley stable. You very close to the stable with Flight Engineer. Will this individual be taking flight into the winner's enclosure?
Sheldon, I've brassed this one. Back end of quartets for me. He hasn't really shown much in work, to be very honest with you. They're putting the blinkers on this time, and hopefully a little bit of improvement, but he's definitely not a 22-10 favourite shot. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm very much in the camp of number 3, Brooksider. Louis Mkoto, when he rides for Duncan McKenzie, is always a very, very good combination to watch. A good second last run of the 1200 on Polly, and I think he's definitely the horse to beat. I think there's been a little bit of money for number 7, Pyro Prince, a new horse with coming from Cape Town. You have to respect that maiden form. And as well as number 9, Princess Beautiful, you know, the Richard Ferry factor, having her third run here, she'll probably be cherry ripe as well, and probably the biggest danger to Brooksider. But I'm definitely in the camp of Brooksider. I do feel Flight Engineer's too short in the market, and I'm tipping at 3, 9, 7 and 1.
Well, there's some very good information. If you were going to have a bet on the favourite, maybe just be a little bit on the cautious side, and there could be some value below, as Grant has pointed out. On to race number 3, where number 2, Lovegrass, once again Richard Ferry and Alan Greef, they'll end up the favourite at this stage, 2-1. Number 3, Montalina, 22-10. Number 5, Woman of Power is 11-2, and number 9, Sahara Cat at 6-1. And I see your value selection is number 7, Bomber Girl, who is now currently trading at 10-1, and that looks like quite an enticing price. Grant?
Yeah, Bomber Girl definitely enticing for us. Last week we found 18-1 Silvery Surfer, and those boys who climbed onto that 18-1, they took disappearing tablets in the week. A guy by the name of Dudley to be one of them, I must be honest with you. But Bomber Girl, very, very good value, 10-1. Holds the favourite Lovegrass with beating her and a kilo better off. So I'm definitely in the camp of Bomber Girl from a good, decent draw. Caden Brewer for Zitzman Ursa, and she's going to be my first pick. Lovegrass, her biggest danger, and I see Montalina, there's money for that, but they back that every time it comes to the races. 1,000 meters going to be on the sharp side. She will be finishing off very strongly, and as I said, good value in number 7, and I'm tipping at 7-1 and 3.
Moving along to race number 4, and when we look at the betting here, it's 4-1 the field. So I'm not going to spend too much time on race number 4. Grant, where would you be leaning towards in race number 4, or as wide as your budget will go?
Sheldon, no, not really. There's a couple of horses that cannot win, and then there's only a handful that can win. This horse, Always Shining, is definitely my first choice. A very good run last time out. He ran third, 3 runs back over 1,400 meters. If he overcomes the draw, it's got to be a big runner. The draw is a definite concern. Horses like Oh Mandy, Laugh Till I Cry is another one with Louis Mkotwa, filly that's now found a bit of form, and I thought she'd win a long time ago. She's probably the biggest danger to Always Shining. Then the likes of American Matador, Stallone Naidu. I'm not sure if he's going to get the mile. He was quite disappointing last time out, but they weren't very strong on him, to be very honest with you. So he could be there and thereabouts. Tricky kind of a race. I'm tipping at 2, 10, 1 and 12, Sheldon.
That'll take us on to race number 5, and looking at race number 5, number 4, Coral Creek, 18 to 10. Now, a horse who's got endless amount of ability. Number 2, Kaiomai. One of the days he's going to show exactly how good this individual is. Number 7, little bit chilly, 5 to 1, and then 6 to 1, and better the rest. Now, grant this horse, Kaiomai, the grey individual. He seemed quite quirky when I was working around him and watching him race. I've had a few bets on this individual. Tell us a bit more about this fella. Does he show some smashing work back home?
Sheldon, he does show decent work. You know, when I was there a couple of weeks back, he really showed me very, very good work. And but I do feel he's probably going to need a touch further than this, and he's probably just going to need this run. He could run into the back end of quartets. I don't think he can win a race like this yet. He's probably going to come on from this run. Well, he will come on from this run, there's no doubt. So he's a horse probably 2 runs time. You know, these Durban horses always seem to take 2 or 3 runs to hit their top, and he falls into that category. Coral Creek's the improver in the race. He's definitely got the right form. A good second last time out over course and distance. Richard Faria up 18 to 10 in this kind of a field, I thought was probably the right price. Biggest danger here, the filly Bosnay. She's stepping up to the mile, but she's a solid front-running type of filly, and she could get away with it. And the winner should come from one of those 2. The rest of the field are very, very moderate, to be honest with you. And I'm tipping at 4, 6, 7 and 2.
Then moving on to race number 6, and this is where number 2, Arabian Red, has shortened even money. Number 1, Strange Magic, from 7 to 1 down 11 to 2. Number 3, Could It Be, also 11 to 2. And then Call to Glory about 8 to 1 with Get It Done. Now, giving number 2, Arabian Red, some airtime, 61.5 kilograms on the back, the 4-year-old bay filly. But once again, Richard Fourie for Alan Greef. And just looking at the field, what would you give this out of a 10? 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, or would you go as far as a 10 out of 10 Arabian Red, Grant?
Yeah, she'll probably get an 8 out of 10. There's been a hell of a lot of talk for number 1, Strange Magic, from the Zitzman Westhuizen yard at the track, and I think that's going to start a lot shorter. Arabian Red is probably going to drift. She has to carry 16 to 1.5, but she's a solid filly. She goes up there, and from a 1 draw, she's going to have pretty much the run of the race. The dangers, as I said, Strange Magic, Get It Done, does very well for Louis Mkotwa, and she's a horse that cannot be left out. Concerto won a very good race last time out, and she could also hold decent form with 14 to 1. Call to Glory, nice run last time out. Probably a little bit more required to win a race like this. And then Could It Be probably wants a little bit further. Sheldon, nice kind of a race. It is my best bet on the card, Arabian Red, and she's an 8 out of 10 for me, and I'm tipping at 2, 1, 7 and 6.
That'll take us on to the next race, all things being equal, 15:45 over 1,300 meters, so the in-between distance here. Number 5, Sharapova, shapes up as a place accumulator banker at 16 to 10 because they are betting 6 to 1 bar number 5. Number 9, Swiss Walt. Number 11, Pashton Wali. And then we have 7 to 1 about number 10, Million Reasons, 12 to 1 and better. A horse like number 5, Sharapova, Richard Fourie and Alan Greef again. 16 to 10 looks a ready-made banker for the place accumulator and those type of bets, Grant?
Yeah, 100% place accumulator banking. In fact, I've banked her in the pick 6. I know I've done my life on this filly, but she couldn't have found a weaker field. To be very honest with you, she's got a stable companion, Legal Thriller, maybe her biggest danger, but she's definitely a solid banker in the place accumulator. As I said, I am banking in the pick 6. Solid form, good, decent enough draw. Richard Fourie up. There's enough pace in the race. She'll probably have her just off the speed. And I'm strong on her. I think she'll start a lot shorter, especially if Arabian Red wins. There's probably quite a few doubles going to be going through onto that. So the 5 for me. I'm tipping at 5, 9, 3, and 1.
Well, just looking at the betting, Richard Faurie's on about 6 or 7 favourites on the day, and no different in race number 8. Number 1, Chili Bomb at 18-10. Richard Fourie, Alan Creef. Number 3, Globe Tonic at 3-1, and then there's a gap 8-1 and better. And then just looking at the last race, Richard Fourie once again is favourite on number 6, Jack in the Green. So the Richard Fourie combination, they're going to be looking to have a whale of a day. And Chili Bomb, is this one going to explode into action?
Sheldon won a good race last time out. Maiden winner is always a concern coming out of the maidens. I normally give them 1 or 2 runs. She's drawn 12 with 61.5 on his back. Sorry, he's drawn 12. It's not going to be easy for a maiden winner. Did come from way off the pace last time out and ran past him. Cutting back to 1300 is another negative. I don't think this is any value at 18-10. Globetronic, on the other hand, runs very well for Stallone. He's going to be my first choice in the race, a massive runner. The likes of Potent Captain from the Duncan Mackenzie yard will be there and thereabouts. And then Perfect Trust as well. Back on the poly, which is going to be beneficial to that filly with a lightweight and an 8 draw. So, Globetronic for me, Sheldon. I'm tipping at 3, 1, 12, and 6.
And then bringing down the curtain, we'll move along to race number 9. And when it comes to race number 9, I see here numbers 6, 7, and 8. They're prominent horses in your pecking order. And just looking at the race, it's over 1,900 meters. And let's go down to number 6, Jack in the Green, who is the current favorite. Looking at this individual's form, last time out seemed to be slow again. A horse who just seems to be that little bit slow off the mark. But barring that last run, always in the money. 3rd, a 1st, a 4th, a 2nd, a 1st. So from that number 1 draw, Jack in the Green, Richard Fourie is going to be wide awake when those gates crash open.
Yeah, well, it'll have to be, Sheldon. You lose your position over 1,900 on the poly, you're going to be eating poly for most of the race, and he's going to be in trouble. He's got to get out. He's got to bounce him, and if he doesn't jump, he's going to be in trouble. Once again, also 22-10, a little bit short. I would have probably put it around 7-2, but it looks like the right horse in the race. Roll of the dice from the Cliffy Miller yards, a horse that really likes to get on and get to the front, stepping up into the trip now to where he did very well. So he's got to be a big runner. Lady Zoltanite put her line through her last run. She didn't pull up very well after the start. Solid form before that over course and distance, 2 very good seconds. She has to be very competitive in a race like this. Pioneer Knight won a good race last time out on the grass. I'm not sure on the poly form, but it's Louis Mkotwa, and you can't leave him out of anything, riding extremely well. And then back end of quartets and also into the pick 6 has got to go this horse, Catch the Tune, back on poly, 3 runs back, a very good run. Not an easy race to finish the day off with. I'm tipping at 6, 8, 7, and 3. The pick 6 players need to add the 5, and a tricky way to end the day, Sheldon.
Well, thanks very much, Grant. As is always, we absolutely value your input, and more often than not, we're on the winning side of the fence. So for all your fans out there, thanks very much for the hard work you do. And we're now going to bring your suggested bets up for the day. And this is where the guys start to get really interested and the blood starts to pump.
Thank you very much, Sheldon. Best bet, race 6, number 2, Arabian Red. The value bet, race 3, number 7, Bomber Girl. And the suggested bets, the place accumulator, goes as follows. We open up with 2 and 7, by 1, 2 and 10, by 4 and 6, by banker 2, by banker 5, by 1 and 3, by 6, 7 and 8, for 72 Rand full unit.
Well, thanks very much, Grant. And as we always mention, you got to think out of the box in this game. And you're one of those players out there who really thinks out the box and you find the value. And we really appreciate your input. Thanks very much, Grant.
Thank you very much, Sheldon. And good luck to those guys playing tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thanks very much to Grant Paddock joining us on the line. And as I always say, you've got to think out of the box in this game if you want to make money. And Grant Paddock's one of those players out there who does think out of the box. He finds the value, and that's what keeps us coming back for more and more. And now it's time to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And then, hopefully in the winner's box with Gallop TV.